Aosenla story by Temsula. The novel is about a patriarchal society, okay? A society of expectations and gender bias, violation of women's rights. So this whole novel revolves around a main character, a person's name Aosenla, and she was a very determined person. Taiman determined that she had dreams and she wanted to complete her education, and she was also hardworking and she loved music and she has also learned 10 languages. So, but when she was in her second year of college, her parents brought a marriage proposal for her, and that person was way older, uh, and he was from a higher social status. We can also know that Aosenla, she belonged to a higher clan and in Nagaland, and the guy was lower clan than her. But when it comes to social status, the guy was higher. So her father wanted his daughter, to get married to um, higher social status, so that they can also, it's more like he would also have an image. So Aosenla had two daughters named Narila and Jubala, and there was one son, but he died. In her marriage, um, we can see that no one will listen to her, even if she speaks out. So she used to write letter to herself so that, she can introspect her life. Mani nidula life ki reflect back tali emotions kan stop tay letter te hilike. And she used to question herself and like what is her strength and weakness. So this letter brought more self-discovery for herself. Family doctor, a physician, and a good Samaritan of the village named Dr. Kilang. So she used to give moral support and listen to her. And the particular doctor used to comfort her. Because we can see that in a family, Aosenla's husband, Bandam, he is like emotionally distant and indifferent and neglectful. Mani, literal husband to makiki moram nai, and there is no respect for her, and he's a womanizer and alcoholic and dominant in nature. Okay, so he views he views Aosenla more like a duty or obligation than a partner. So Aosenla never got the love or maybe that understanding that a wife deserves from her husband. Okay, so in sum, we can just say that Bandam is a character who exemplifies the traditional male role in a patriarchal society. Now, when we look into the relationship between Aosenla and her mother-in-law, we can see that um, exactly patriarchal society kihoy. The mother-in-law is always dominant in nature, and that the daughter-in-law should listen to the mother-in-law, right? Because she is the older woman in the house. So you can see that same thing that is happening in Aosenla's story as well. And Aosenla is always treated more like a subordinate than a family member. Okay, so her mother-in-law, she always enforces that societal expectations. So societal expectations the key is to reinforcing the idea that the woman's worth lies in her ability. So woman la makikita la worth total la ability. Her husband can serve Kurili la and his and her family. So from there you can see that Aosenla never had anyone in the family to listen to her or understand her feelings. And that is when she discovered the role of letter writing. Okay. So the letter writing, it plays a crucial symbolic and narrative role. So, it was more like a means, mani ita way takishe tayo nidro emotion ke express clearly and to, make it an inner turmoil. Natala nidro la feelings kan ki tayo stop letter tayo express clearly. And through her letter, Aosenla reveals her pain, her loneliness, and her desire for understanding. Okay. And then the feelings that she cannot openly voice out in her household due to the societal and family restrictions. We can see that letter writing also underscores the emotional distance in her marriage. So in sum up, you can just say thus like the letter writing becomes a silent witness to Aosenla's suffering and subtle act of resistance against the voiceless imposed on her. Now coming back to where I say that Aosenla, she was not able to have male son. So in a patriarchal society, a woman's worth is often measured by her ability to become a mother. So by her ability to become a mother, money, muta baca paulilana. So symbolizes her perceived failure. And she was not meeting those societal expectations. Why? Because she was not able to have a son. And like target Grace, na making her the target of the blame, shame, and rejection, especially from her mother-in-law and husband. So there was like emotional neglect from her husband and the harsh treatment by her mother-in-law and the stigma of infertility all contributed her isolation. So these are the reasons why she was getting isolated. Okay. But yet she's still expected to remain silent, and patient and dutiful. Now she's mirroring how countless women in patriarchal society are taught to suppress their sufferings to maintain familial and societal harmony. So these are some of the reasons why she was getting isolated. Still, they fight back Granai, or she didn't confront, or she didn't tell people, why are you doing this, that to me? Okay. So by that, I mean she didn't rebel outwardly or confronted those who did wrong to her. Instead, her self-realization unfolded through introspections, silent endurance, and the act of letter writing. Okay, the main is the letter writing because um, even though she knew that, the letters that she is writing is going to go unanswered, she expressed her pain, the desire, and word through letters. So this becomes as a private act for her to voice out what she cannot say out loud to people. And through this letter writing only, she was able to express her emotions, and gradually she becomes more aware about her inner strength. Tayo ito letter writing lah hisap ito letter writing karni tayo ni Jorge, she was able to have self-aware about herself and the reality of her situation. So by the end of the story, she understands that her silence does not mean weakness. Okay, and it is not a form of quiet resistance, but yes, she was also able to discover that she is more than just a wife or a daughter-in-law. She is a woman with her own thoughts, pain, and silent courage. Yeah, so that is all about the novel.